Okay. Should be live again. Take 2. Hopefully my internet doesn't blow up. So let's try this again. We have a guest. Hello, guest.
Hi, how are you?
Why don't you, for the start of this really quickly, just quick couple things. Couple things about you. Break the ice here.
Hi, my name is Tricourage. I was friends with Otto until 2 nights ago.
What are you talking about?
Okay, we're getting this out of the way right now. So I'm wearing a mask. Alright, we're having the pre-call before the podcast and talking about topics. And we're talking about how we all need haircuts because, you know, pandemic.
Right.
And Otto mentions that I need to trim my beard, okay? Now, I am very picky about my beard, alright? And I was having problems keeping it all flush. And so I thought Otto saw something from the webcam, which is poop quality. So I'm very upset about it. So I go and get up in the middle of the night because I can't sleep to trim my beard. And then I screw it up and I had to shave it off.
So, a couple notes here I want to add on top of this. Okay, first off, I take no credit at all for what has occurred. That is, when I say trim, I mean trim.
You may try self-conscious. I told him it looked good, but he didn't listen to me. He listened to you saying that he needed to trim it.
I just wanna point out before anybody jumps in and says anything, this is not my fault. I'm gonna go ahead and blame user error. There was a logic error on the part of the user on this, not on the part of the critic of said facial hair, which again I said maybe trim it. Maybe trim it. Now, I also want to add, the current state of Try's face is 100% fine. He showed it to me. It looks perfectly fine. He looks clean. It looks really nice, actually. I'm not even kidding. It looks good. But apparently, it doesn't look good to him. I just want to put all that out there right now. I think he looks perfectly fine.
So yeah, anyways, other than that, I'm just a nobody on the internet, so there's nothing else to introduce about me.
What do you? I mean, well, and also our most loyal viewer, pretty much since the days of the Miria cast. So,
do I have to pull up your video on YouTube? The one that has 40,000 views.
God.
I'm pulling it up if you think you're.
All right, I used to be a moderately big name in Hyrule Warriors. I have a couple world records. That's a dead game now. So.
But still. So
the first Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, the Wii U version.
Right. And you didn't even say you're an important member of the Destiny crew. You're an important member of the Destiny crew.
I mean, I guess that's true. I am the best person on the Destiny crew.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Nah, you're right. The best person's Hectic.
Okay. Also, Spoon's here. Hey, Spoon.
I'm still here, as always.
He's still here. Just if you're curious. So, before we get into everything, I'm going to do my sellout spiel. Let me just get it ready here. I swear this is set up properly. Okay, it is. It came through. Thank God. So we have a YouTube, guys. There's going to be a couple videos going up tomorrow for sure. The Xenoblade ones are going up. I cut the Xenoblade stream into 2 parts because I had that like middle coffee break. So be sure to check out those videos. They'll be on like at 11 tomorrow, 11 p.m. Pacific time. Not p.m., a.m. Pacific time. 11 a.m. Pacific time, those videos will go up. I'm particularly proud of the second video's thumbnail that I worked on. I'm particularly proud of that one. And also, for podcast VODs go up here. Please be sure to, like our videos, comment on them. Again, generally when I go on the YouTube, I try and at least like the comments. So please keep doing that. Really, really appreciate the people that are doing it. If you're not subscribed for whatever reason and you're here right now, please consider doing so. You don't have to hit the little bell thing in the top right, but by subscribing and keeping updated on our videos, it really does help us. It gives us a lot of valuable information, actually, when we do see some videos that do particularly well and maybe some that just don't do well at all. So please keep doing that. The second piece of information here is that before the podcast, I put up, this is a website called Ko-Fi. I'm going to say it's similar to Patreon because Patreon's a little bit more well-known, I would say. But Ko-Fi is a pretty big website. And what it's going to allow us to do is when we get the Minecraft server up, which Kuru will walk me through at some point, hopefully, and you will also help walk me through that process, we will have a Minecraft server up. And that server I will be personally paying for, but this Ko-Fi page will be for anybody who wishes to chip in. And it's already set up. There's already a little goal here where for the yearly cost of a server is like $90, right, Try? Is that correct math, or was I wrong there? Is it more
I don't know.
that?
This is Kuru's thing.
This is Kuru's thing. Okay. That goal could change. But the point is, it's supposed to pay for the year of Minecraft server. For anybody that wants to join it, when it gets set up and it's when we put it up on Discord and everything, how to get in and get set up there, we will let you guys know. But this is just for anybody who wants to chip in like $5 here and there. Obviously, it's not required. Nobody's saying it is, but it would be helpful for me because I am paying for it. And if people chip in, like, if I get half the cost of this thing paid for from everybody who's involved and wants to contribute, that'd be awesome. I'd really appreciate that. So those are the quick intro hits for this particular episode of the podcast. And it's pronounced coffee. Is it really?
I'm
okay.
Pretty sure. It's
okay, coffee. So it's coffee. Got it. So if you want to contribute, and I guess that would make sense because the thing is, like, for the non-premium version, you buy a coffee.
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
That's the idea.
There you go. So again, when the server gets up and you would like to, we'd really appreciate that. So, okay. Those are the intro quick hits. Before I continue, we did have the movie night last night, and that was fun. Return of the King is next week, right? So Tuesday should be same time. I'm going to say right now, I may have to have somebody else stream the movie because I actually am going to have to do some like school presentation on that day during the time, like in the middle of the movie, basically. So somebody's going to have to step up and do the live stream through Discord because I won't be present for a good piece of it. And I don't know if, like, I'm not going to be able to check on the stream, really. So that's something we'll figure it out.
Okay. Maybe we'll watch something else, or you can give me access to your account or something.
We can
stream it that way.
We can figure it out. We'll figure out the best way to do this. But yeah, just figured I'd mention it now. Either it's going to be, hopefully, Return of the King, if we can figure that out. But if not, we'll maybe, like, do a substitute movie for this particular coming week. So, okay. Those are anything else, Spoon, before we get into others, maybe more personal stuff and game news?
I think that's pretty much it. I think I will be going back to East streams on the podcast this week. I know I've kind of said it a couple of times and not done it, but I won't have another race in the Kingdom Hearts tournament for at least like a week and a half. Okay. So I'll probably take a little bit of a break from that. And actually play some Ease. So
sounds good.
Yeah,
sounds good.
Might have some of that on the channel this coming week and weekend. So yeah.
I didn't mention merch, but it's a thing. There. That's the plug for that. Okay. Should we get into game news then? Try, do you have any other additional notes that you wanted to sing up here?
No.
No? Okay. There you go. Okay. We're gonna start with game news. We're starting with Terraria. Okay. I have never played Terraria. Has anybody in here played Terraria?
Nope.
I've watched it.
Okay, you've watched it. Yeah, I guess if you've watched it. If anybody's played the game, I know it's a good game based on what everybody says about it. So Terraria's one of the I think like co-founders of the studio. Is that the appropriate? Because it seemed like it was like either the head of the studio or one of the co-leads on the studio got locked out of their Google accounts for weeks and got extremely frustrated, which is 100% justified, because Google didn't appear to help him at all. And as it turns out, this person and his studio happened to be trying to put Terraria onto Stadia. So let that be a nice show of faith that Google will ask for your game, but they certainly won't help you once you get there with any of their Google accounts. It specifically was the YouTube account was disabled. So this is like there were plenty of tweets from, okay, we have Andrew Spinks, okay? He explained that he lost access to all of his Google accounts, Google Play, Google Drive, YouTube, Gmail, all that, and was trying to recover them for weeks, but was unsuccessful. And so, given the runaround from Google support team, which I think I've dealt with once, and it's not a good experience, just said, okay, I'm not going to put Terraria on Stadia, and I'm not going to support any of your applications moving forward. Let me see if I can grab the tweet as well, because there was a pretty hilarious YouTube follow-up. So the like main YouTube account followed up. I can't remember where though. One of the particular...
It's probably buried.
There it is. So Team YouTube replied to this because he added YouTube in one of them. And when you add YouTube, given certain things line up, their bot account replies to you. This is basically a bot. This is a bot. There's no other way to put it. It's not a person. And so the Team YouTube account, which is, again, it's a bot, says, we're sorry to hear you're going through this. Without revealing any personal info, share more details about how you lost access to your account. We'll wait to hear from you and point you in the right direction.
Yep. I love bots, dude. I love not talking to people and just talking to the computer or the robot. Whatever.
It's a robot. That's 100% a robot. Also, the last thing I want to say before I'll sort of turn it over to you two, there's more information I'm sure about this, but there are a lot of people that are like really defending Google here and Stadia and all that, and I'm just like, why are you defending it? Well, this person has had a very crappy experience with support and hasn't been able to get their information, and potentially, like, I don't even know how much data, to be honest, this person probably has on Google Drive. But, like, for me, if I lost access to my Google Drive, that's 7 gigabytes of data with plenty of school stuff for sure is on there. So if I lost access to that for weeks, I'd be screwed. So I think this person is 100% justified to be upset. And I think this is all on Google for being stupid. So, okay. You guys can feel free to chime in with thoughts on this whole thing. Again, this is specifically the co-creator of Terraria had this issue.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of glad that he took a stand here, that he had this terrible experience with support. They wouldn't help him. He's, you know, a relatively big name in the gaming community, and I don't know his name personally, but if he's a head developer on Terraria, that's a big game. A lot of people play it. It's, you know, its Steam charts are typically pretty high. It's a very widely played game on Steam. Mm-hmm. When they had their expansion or update, whatever, that came out back in April or May of last year, I know there was a big spike.
Yeah, we looked at that.
Yeah. We looked at that when we did the Avengers thing a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, and Google was just, and I assume there's a lot of information and, yeah, just stuff that he lost access to because he didn't have his Google account, including the YouTube channel, like you talked about, Gmail, so he loses your email, and, you know, probably countless Google Docs and spreadsheets on there as well that, you know, people use to share, because, to be honest, I mean, Google Docs and Google Sheets is very convenient for sharing things with people. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm glad he took a stand and was like, all right, if you're not going to help me, then I'm not putting Terraria on Stadia. Screw off, Google. See you later.
Which I feel is a lot of money lost for Stadia, actually. That's quite a bit of money.
I'm not sure how much... We've talked about it. I'm not sure how much Google cares at this point. I know it seems like they're still supporting Stadia, but I wouldn't be surprised that if in the next year they pull the plug on it, because it's it's pretty dead, in my opinion.
I agree. Try.
Yeah, this is just hilarious to me that Google is this incompetent. So the things he lost, a couple of things to point out. He says he lost a Gmail account that he's had for 15 years. So he lost 15 years of emails.
I'll bring that up.
And he lost thousands of dollars worth of apps from Google Play.
Oh yeah, okay. I didn't even think about
let me
that.
see. Yep.
So like,
I have that tweet up right here.
He's just absolutely done with Google. He tried for 3 weeks, and I guess like Google just made him go through their normal support channels, and
which is the dumbest thing.
I guess he didn't have a contact at Stadia that could help him or something, and so now Terraria doesn't get to go to Stadia.
Which makes...
It was funny, like you said, like in the tweet comments, there were a bunch of people mad at him.
Yeah, I don't know why.
They were like, "Oh, you're not hurting Google. You're hurting the consumers that can't buy this on Stadia." It's just like, just go buy it on literally anything else.
There were a couple. I don't know. I'll have to find them. There was like a couple. I was like, "Wow, you guys are sad. What are you doing?"
Even Reddit, it wasn't that Papega. Reddit was all just like, "Screw Google."
Yep.
Even the Stadia subreddit were all just like, "Google, what are you doing?"
Well, I have a couple question marks on that part with which you were describing, which is like he didn't have a contact at Google or Stadia. Okay, that's like insane to me. That one, he didn't have a contact to immediately get this resolved, because I feel like if they're in the process of getting Terraria on Stadia, he'd have had somebody on Stadia that was talking to him, or at least maybe sending a few emails back and forth. 2, Google Stadia team, how did you not know that this person was involved with Terraria and was one of the co-creators of it and all that, like a head developer? So how did you guys not know that this person was having these problems and immediately swoop in? Like, this is one of those situations where somebody should have fast-laned and swooped under and just like saved him all the trouble of dealing with the normal support process. This is just one of those specific cases that VIP line should have been there for him, and it wasn't. So like, that's already 2 strikes. And the third strike is it took over 3 weeks, which is like strike 3, you're out. I can't believe it. I hope he is able to have a better experience putting Terraria on some of the other, we'll say, cloud-based platforms. But like, it really is just extremely unfortunate that this person has just so many problems.
I mean, did he ever get this resolved? Did he finally get his account back, or do we
I don't think so.
I doubt it.
I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
I can double check the rest of his Twitter, but
no, that's not worth the time, I don't think. But...
Nope, it's just 3 hours ago his account's still banned.
Oh yeah. Pro tip, Google, click the button that unbans my account. Holy moly, this person's going in. This is like, I already ordered an iPhone. I've been an Apple hater all my life, but their new privacy push has completely changed my mind. Like, it's crazy how they still haven't resolved it. Google, you're garbage.
Like, does no one in the PR department have like is Google just so big that like the people in these departments just can't do anything about it? Like, they can't find someone to fix this?
So
like, does the PR department has to figure this out by now, right?
No.
And they can't fix it?
My guess is this is one of those things that, this is just a guess, okay, so it could be 100% wrong. But my guess is this is a situation where it's like, oh, he's already said he's not going to put on Stadia, so whatever.
Screw him.
Whatever.
We'll just spite him at this point.
Yeah, that's just, and like, Google is so big that either they have like an insanely outsourced support team, or it's robots. And you have to like go through tons of, jump through a bunch of hoops just to get to somebody that actually is going to help you. Because they're too big to have, like, we'll say, a real personable support team that's actually going to come in and give you personalized support. That's not happening. They're too big. They can't do it. Because they have the resources to do it, I'm sure, but
I remember the Stadia subreddit was joking that they need to expand their customer support to have supervisor bots to escalate problems from the basic Twitter bots.
Yeah, probably. Like, really, probably. because their Twitters are all, it's just a bunch of bots. Like the team YouTube, that's basically a bot that maybe somebody once in a while actually does a personal tweet on, but it's mostly a bot. Anytime somebody pings at YouTube, they just bot something at them. So, any other thoughts, Spoon, Try, regarding this poor soul's experience with Google support?
I mean, he's not poor. Let's be honest.
I mean, it's just a big. I mean, as you said, I think Google is just too big to give a shit. To be honest, which is sad. It's like, you know, and he. It seems like he has no idea why his account was banned either, which is the other problem that I have with some of these issues. It's when somebody's account gets banned and they just aren't given a reason.
Right.
Like, I get it, you know, TOS. It's a business. They can just say, "Hey, you're banned because we want you to be banned." But
right. Yeah. Bray said, "Who needs personalized support when you already have everyone's personal info?" Lol. I don't even want to rant about this. Google is... My favorite all-time quote was when the CEO of Google came on the Zoom call when they were in front of Congress and was like, "We care about people's personal data." That was my all-time favorite quote from him. I was like, okay, we're going down this road. Okay, let's move on.
I mean, that was like the... I don't... Was that Congress too? I don't know. That EA rep in that one meeting who was like, "Surprise mechanics."
Yeah, surprise mechanics. This is great.
You're like, great. People love surprise mechanics, dude.
It's like you wrote that as part of your defense? Okay. Interesting.
Oh my God.
Okay. Next, we're going to move on to Mass Effect, emphasis on ASS. So, I don't know, like, this has been kind of going around for the past week or so, but apparently...
That is a headline.
BioWare has... I don't want to say they've removed them. They've changed the camera angles on scenes involving Miranda. I think it's very specific, though, to when she's talking about her sister. So, I guess this is a spoiler. Sorry. But Miranda's sister is... Miranda and her sister, like, aren't necessarily connected in the game very well. Like, they get separated. And... she's trying to protect her sister because Miranda's father is he's very controlling. Okay, so Miranda's giving this like very sad. She's having this sad conversation with your character Shepard, and during the conversation, it's just like camera angles of her butt. It's just camera angle on butt 1, camera angle on butt 2. So I think BioWare is working on changing some of those camera angles. I guess people are upset. I can't tell if people are upset or happy about it. It's like a weird split here. I'm trying to figure out which part is like talking about Miranda in here, but like they're talking about some other things. Yeah, this is specifically where they're discussing her past with Miranda, and just the camera angles really focus on her ass. So I think BioWare had said that they were going to make some changes to those camera angles. Here we go. Team at BioWare seems to understand the kind of cheesy sexualization would be extremely dated in 2021. I do think a lot of things have evolved since the original games, but I don't know if I'd say we were ultra concerned about it or anything like that, but there were considerations. Kevin actually called out some camera cuts that were just, why was that focusing on Miranda's butt? Okay, we can make a change there, all that stuff. So, thoughts?
This is probably for the better, since like those scenes are all supposed to be serious.
They're very serious, yes.
And you can only have so serious a moment in a video game when the camera is just directly staring at a character's butt.
Yeah.
So, for the game, this is good. There's a bunch of angry gamers that are just like, "Oh, I want to stare at Miranda's ass," but no one cares about them anyways.
And to them,
you can do that.
Porn.
You can do that.
Just
whenever
porn.
You want.
Just go to porn.
or
just go to porn.
If that's really what you want, just look it up online, and you're all good.
There's a place with hub at the end of it. Just go there. There you go.
Well, I mean, that place it's a different atmosphere now.
It's well, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. But ultimately, I think this is a good thing. Yeah, Pizza Hub. That's it. Pizza Hub. That's where Kuru goes. He goes to pizza.
Yeah, that's
where Kuru goes. So, yeah, this is a good thing. I don't know why people are really upset. I think I heard some people were like, they're censoring it. You're an idiot if you think that. You're just an idiot. This is just like, you're having a serious conversation with Miranda, and it's just camera angles of her butt. This scene is not meant to be a sexualized scene, okay? At all.
If you want the sexualized scene, do the romance with Miranda and watch the sex scene with Miranda.
Yeah.
That's where that belongs.
Yeah, like they're definitely not censoring the game. As far as I know, all those cutscenes are still in there.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
And they probably got, updated to 4K or whatever.
Wait a second.
4K Miranda, but
I just noticed something. Try the mask is off.
Yeah, I know.
See,
it was
everybody,
annoying.
he looks fine. Can we please agree that he looks fine?
I don't.
Yeah, it looks fine.
So, okay. Any other thoughts on Miranda's butt?
Yeah,
Camera
again, internet overreacting to things. Big surprise.
Yeah, this was a huge overreaction. Any other thoughts? I'm sorry. Keep going.
I'm sure there's a few people, as you said, on the side of like, oh, why would they do this? They're censoring the game. But I would guess at least that most of the people agree with BioWare that this is probably the right decision. That we're having a serious character-driven moment. Miranda's talking about her sister. It's been a while since I played the game. I don't remember what the details of her side quest are with her sister. But whatever it is she's talking about, we should be looking at her face, not her ass. So
fair. Try any other stuff regarding the booty?
I mean, it's a nice ass, but
okay,
it's still for the better. For the better.
I see.
Let's be honest. Most people don't give a shit. They don't even care.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What do I have next here? Oh, Anthem, the game that we never forgot, right? So I'm on Bloomberg, so we're probably not going to be able to read much of this because I'm probably going to your monthly limited free content. Oh, okay. So Anthem's fate is being decided this week. Who knows if it's already happened or not? I assume it hasn't. Otherwise, it would have been all over Twitter or something like that. But Anthem is supposedly making, and they've said they are making, something called Anthem Next, which is their rework of Anthem, and it seems like it's a complete rework, which is good because Anthem was terrible in many ways. So this rework has been happening for, I would say, over a year and a half now, because the game launched February 2019, and EA is going to decide this week if it's worth adding people to the team to continue working on this or killing it. So there's really nothing else to say regarding that description. Spoon, any thoughts regarding this? And then Try, obviously, you're welcome to give input.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this doesn't completely surprise me. It is EA we're talking about, but you'd think that, if they put all this time and money into developing this new version of Anthem, you would think they have something to show at this point, see what it is. And maybe that's what the decision is going to be on. Like, maybe there's going to be some EA execs that are going to go down to BioWare and check out what they've got, and if they don't like it, then they're going to kill it. Maybe that's what's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, again, you'd think if they've sunk all this time and money into it that they would let it go, let it keep going. But again, that can be sunk cost fallacy. It's like, if it's not good, then it's probably just better to nip it in the bud, so to speak. I mean, we're past that point. The game was out and it was terrible, but we as far as the next version goes, better to just let it die and let Anthem fade into obscurity than spend more money on it.
Okay, just to ask Try, you never played this game, correct?
No.
Okay. Do you have any thoughts regarding... You didn't play it, but you've seen it. It's terrible.
Yes.
So, any thoughts, like, okay, let's say an Anthem Next did happen, Try. Maybe it looks okay. Would this interest you at all? Because you played Destiny 2, but obviously there's slightly different games. But
the only way I would play an Anthem game is if it comes out and like 2 weeks later, people still like it. But that's not gonna happen. They're gonna kill Anthem. They have no reason to continue this. I wonder if any of this is because of how bad Cyberpunk got received. If like one of the execs is just like, why are we spending money on this?
Yeah.
When they're looking at how much CD Projekt Red just threw out and then got destroyed. I think I read another article somewhere that EA's trying to shift some resources towards mobile games.
They are, because we'll talk about that in a second too. So, is there anybody in your minds that's like waiting with interest for Anthem next? Is there anybody like really like out there going, "Hey, when's Anthem next coming out?"
Not that I've heard.
Does the game have PvP? I don't even know.
No, it's PvE strictly, I think.
Okay,
Yeah,
it didn't. Nobody's waiting.
It didn't have PvP.
Which I'm glad it didn't, by the way.
I want to think that it could be good if they actually put some time and money into it and they did a good job, because the concept of Anthem was really cool. It was just development hell, and it was a mess basically. Right. But the flying was fun. The basic combat and the abilities was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was.
The mission structure was pretty terrible. The enemies spawning on all sides of you was really stupid. I mean, there were a multitude of things that were bad about that game, but the core concept was not bad. It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But they just messed up the execution severely, and it was not a good game because of it.
Yeah. I agree. I thought the gun mechanics, I thought they were pretty good, actually. I really did like that. The flight mechanics, other than the stupid overheating thing all the time, were good. Like, I think they actually worked really well. Because I don't remember if I played mouse and keyboard or controller. I can't remember, but I mean, you played controller. So for controller, I assume it was actually the flight controls were pretty good.
Yeah, no, flight controls were good. The game controlled fine. It played fine. But yeah, the customization was bad.
Yeah.
The loot was absolutely terrible. It was a looter shooter, and the loot was absolutely terrible. The skill progression for the classes was not that good either. And the fact that, the loading screens all over the place, and you had to go back to the hub and another loading screen to edit your loadout.
Which, oh my god, that was
really
so
dumb.
bad. That was so bad. Holy moly. That was really bad.
And the story was a joke.
You're just like, yeah, whatever. Enemies spawning behind you randomly, just like out of nowhere. That was fun.
I never finished the game.
No, neither did I. I got a little bit further than you, and I just was like, no, I think I'm done here. This is good.
I'm good.
Would you? Okay, if an Anthem Next did come out, I know, Try, you've already said your piece on this, but this is for Spoon and myself. Let's say Anthem Next comes out, and again, we're speaking hypothetically, so you got to take it for what it is. Let's say it's like okay, and you don't have to pay anything for Anthem Next because you already bought Anthem, which is already a question mark because it's EA.
I mean, if they made me pay again, I wouldn't.
Yeah, of course not. Let's say they don't, because I know that if they made you pay again, that you wouldn't, which I wouldn't either. Would you? Would you be?
I already got burned once on that. I'm not doing it again.
Yeah. Would you be interested in at least trying Anthem again? Given it looks okay. It just looks okay.
I would probably give it another shot if if it looked decent. I would probably wait again, like try maybe not 2 weeks, but until after it came out and there was some reviews out there and some opinions on it, and people being like, "All right, this is actually at least decent." Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would probably go back and give it another shot if it actually looked decent.
Okay.
Because I own the game already, like why not?
Yeah.
Just have to reinstall it and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I guess I have to use Origin, which is trash, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I wouldn't be opposed to trying it again if it looked okay and if I didn't have to pay anything extra. So
if they made me pay a $30 expansion or, God forbid, another $60, it's going to be a hard no for me on that.
Here's another thought that I have, and maybe Try, you can give input on this. Let's say Anthem comes out free to play. Anthem Next is free to play, which, by the way, I could see EA doing. They make it free to play and put a bunch of microtransaction garbage in it.
I mean,
would you try?
They already had a ton of microtransactions.
No.
Of
course,
$60.
But it's going to be worse. We know it'll be worse if that's the case. Because Destiny is technically free to play. I say technically because I would say it's hardly free to play, but
free to try.
It's free to try. If Anthem came out free to try,
demo version is free.
Anthem comes out free to try.
I mean, I'd play it if any of the Destiny crew was going to like if Vis and Hectic need a third to play it, I'd try it, but only if it's free. I'm not spending any money on it.
What about me and Spoon?
Well, yeah, you too as well.
Okay, just want to make. No, if you and Spoon play it, no, I can't do that. No, I can't do that.
I mean, if Hectic and Vis wanted to play it, and they needed a third, and you guys also needed a third, I would pick Hectic and Vis over you.
I know you would.
But,
I know you would. That's reasonable. I think that's reasonable.
And that's fair. That's fair.
That's a fair thing.
I accept that.
I accept that you can make those bad decisions, and that's your right to do so. So, speaking of, by the way, mobile games, I'm gonna do like a half segue because we can always come back to this. So you mentioned, Try, that EA might be starting to dive more into the mobile side, which makes sense actually because mobile makes a lot of money, and there's, at least this is my opinion, this could be 100% wrong, there's less overhead to deal with. So EA acquired a mobile game company. I knew of this mobile game company from I think my dad was telling me about it a long time ago. And so this is a mobile game company. I don't remember all the games they make, but they've made stuff like a Kim Kardashian type of game, right? So they bought this mobile game company for $2 billion. Okay? So this is just sort of adding on to the initiative of going mobile. I mean, we know Activision Blizzard is going this way. Candy Crush for Activision Blizzard makes them a lot of money. And they've already mentioned in the past that they want to take Blizzard's IPs and make mobile games out of them, if possible. So this is just another sort of move that makes me feel, and obviously you mentioned it, that more of the big publishers are just saying, okay, we're gonna really heavily invest into mobile. Also, Call of Duty Mobile makes a ton. Call of Duty Mobile makes a crap load of money, I think.
Yeah, Activision Blizzard, I think they had an earnings call recently, and they basically said that they want to take the formula they did with Call of Duty, where they pushed it to mobile, and just do that with all of their IPs now.
Yep, because Call of Duty Mobile makes a ton of money.
All the developers, all they're talking about a lot is moving to mobile. Like Ubisoft said the same thing, even though they had record sales everywhere else, they're still talking about they want to move to mobile.
Yep.
EA is doing it. Mobile just is the big thing that people want to get in on to make the big bucks.
Again, that's where the big bucks are, because you got the most, full price games. You pay $60, maybe there's a DLC or season pass or something, and that's it. And it doesn't seem like people. The real microtransaction money is in mobile games and gotchas and stuff like that. So,
and they know that, yeah, they for sure know that.
That's what they want.
So, as an additional side note, any stockholders of Glu Mobile receive $12.50 of cash for each stock. That's $125 for me, baby, because I had 10 shares. Woohoo! Yay! So
congratulations!
I know. Wow, I'm rich.
Otto making out like a bandit.
I'm filthy rich, everybody. I made out plus $30 on that. What a wonderful thing.
He only bought the stock a month ago. He definitely has some insider knowledge that this was going on.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I had insider knowledge. Yeah.
SEC needs to investigate.
Please don't. It's not worth it.
Otto's gonna get caught for insider trading because he made $30. Because he made $30.
Hey, did you make $30? Yeah.
How dare you?
You're going to jail for a long time. Well, what about those guys? You're though.
It's too expensive to go after
insider
people
trading.
that make money.
They're gonna take
market manipulation.
They're gonna take the frogs. Please no. Please don't. They're doing so well since I saw those bumps on them. They're doing so well now. Any other thoughts on either Anthem or the mobile side of this that we've been talking about?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay, perfect. CD Projekt Red cyber attack. So CD Projekt Red had a cyber attack. An unidentified actor gained unauthorized access to our internal network, collected data belonging to CD Projekt Red Capital Group, and left a ransom note, the content of which we release to the public. We will release to the public. Although some devices in our network have been encrypted, backups remain intact, and they've already secured IT infrastructure and and they're restoring the data. They did additionally say that the compromised systems did not contain any personal data of our players or users of our services, and it seems like to our ex-employees as of this moment, we don't possess evidence that any of your personal data was accessed. However, we still recommend caution, enabling fraud alerts. If you have questions, please write to the privacy team. And then the ransom note said, you have been epically pwned. Let me just pause right here, actually. Let me actually pause right here. The person that did the ransom, you're an idiot. This is such a dumb line. You have been epically pwned. Wow. You could have said anything, and that was what you wrote. We have dumped full copies of the source codes from your Perforce server from Cyberpunk 2077, Witcher 3, Gwent, and the unreleased version of Witcher 3. We have also dumped all of your documents relating to account, administration, legal, HR, investigators, and more. Also, we have encrypted all of your servers, but we understand that you can most likely recover from backups. If we will not come to an agreement, then your source codes will be sold or leaked online, and your documents will be sent to our contacts in gaming journalism. Your public image will go down the shitter even more, and people will see how shitty your company functions. Okay. Investors will lose trust in your company, and the stock will dive even lower. You have 48 hours to contact us. Ransom note person, are you actually 12? Okay. So this happened February 8th, so Monday, and they posted this update to Twitter. I really don't know what the response has been like because I didn't really read through this, but I'm just going to go ahead and go on a limb that this was a Cyberpunk player that got burned from Cyberpunk, and they're really pissed off about Cyberpunk. They happen to know how to use a computer and get into other companies' servers. By the way, CD Projekt Red, you need to you need to work very hard to make sure this doesn't happen again, because this is like, if this is any of this is true, that's obviously horrible. So, any thoughts from you guys regarding the CD Projekt Red cyber attack from what I'm going to guess is a Cyberpunk 2077 upset player?
So I have a few thoughts on this.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so first off, I don't know why they released this ransom note. I don't know why they felt the need to release this, because you look at it and it looks like it's written, like Brea said, by like a 12-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So that means either a 12-year-old hacked into their systems and stole all this information, which means their IT security team is non-existent. Or this is just like a grown person that just thinks they're funny. Or some people have been saying that they think this is fake. That like they think that nobody that could have hacked into this would have put something this stupid, and that CD Projekt Red is trying to get like pity by faking that they got hacked.
What?
I don't believe that.
I don't believe at all.
Yeah, that's a little.
If it goes 2 weeks and we don't hear anything from this leak, then I'm gonna think it's fake. Something is going to come out of this if somebody really got this information. Yeah.
Well, of course. I mean, obviously something will. I mean, in their thing, they're not gonna. They had said, we will not give in to the demands nor negotiate, being aware that this may eventually lead to the release of the compromised data. So they're not gonna like actually go through with anything. Which, you know, however you feel about it, maybe that's the right move, maybe it isn't. Who knows? But I mean, this is just like, first of all, the ransom note person. Your have been epically pwned. I don't know. Like, this person, I don't know if English is a second language. If it is, okay, that's, you know, whatever.
It's possible.
It's possible. But this is like, you put epically pwned. Like, good lord. Good.
What do you mean? I said that when I was in, like, middle school.
Yeah.
Or maybe early high school. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Spoon, any thoughts?
Yeah, the theory that it's fake or staged that's a little far-fetched for my taste. Yeah, I don't. You know, we'll see what comes out of it. I mean, this is just more on the CD Projekt is scuffed train, getting hacked by a 12-year-old or an idiot who can't speak, or not speak, but write. Again, maybe they knew they were being stupid and were just trying to be funny with the epically pwned thing, but you know, I also like how it's written in Notepad.
I mean, that's like the easiest thing to write in for, like, if you just jump into somebody's, you just put it in a notepad. Like, I mean, I don't know.
You could send them a letter, like an actual letter.
Nope.
No.
If you've already gone into their servers,
easy to trace.
If you've gone into their servers, you're just going to open a notepad and say, "Read me unlock."
Yeah, and then they figure out you've been in there, and they see this file came out of nowhere, and somebody's gonna. Find it.
They're gonna immediately see it. They'll immediately see that stuff.
Well, so, Notepad you can get on everything. You can't necessarily get Word on a server.
True.
But
Notepad's easy to get to.
I'm really curious to see what gets leaked out of this, because CD Projekt Red, before Cyberpunk came out, they got some bad press, but it was all overshadowed by the fact that Cyberpunk was coming out. Where a lot of people were saying they were treating their employees like really, really bad. That like the crunch culture was just absolutely atrocious there. And they said they've got HR documents, so I'm really
HR documents would be
what's going to come out.
Yeah, the HR stuff would be very interesting, to say the least. But
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. So this is all I had for news for this. I don't know if I missed anything. There was stuff I didn't have like docs for, so if I missed something, feel free to bring it up now. But like there are a couple things like Prince of Persia being delayed indefinitely and the patent stuff. I didn't have like a link for that, but we can touch on some of those things for sure.
Yeah, we can touch on it.
So let's touch on I think we should obviously touch on the patent thing. Okay, so I'm not sure how well you've been following this, but Spoon and I have been talking about it for sure. And I think we did mention this during the call we had. So WB Games 5 years ago had this game, Shadow of Mordor, and then subsequently Shadow of War came out a couple years ago. And one of the biggest systems that was in the game was called the Nemesis system, where you have orcs. The general idea is like you meet an orc and their storyline could potentially carry over for multiple interactions. Okay, that's pretty much the system.
If they kill you, they get promoted to a higher rank, and they become more of a like a named villain type thing. Or if they survive an encounter with you, and they become your nemesis basically.
Yep.
Hence the name of the system.
Yeah. It is an interesting system. It is very interesting. So WB patented it. Apparently my guess is they started the process when Shadow of Mordor came out, and now they've gotten the patent approved. So you can't put this type of system in other games now. And other developers spoke out against this, in that, Try, you had mentioned that there was a patent on loading screens for a long time where you couldn't play mini games in the load screen, right?
Yeah,
that was
I think it was Namco had a patent
Namco
for
had
17 years. They patented the idea of putting a mini game on a load screen, so no one did it. I don't even think Namco did it,
but they just had
it for it.
And I think this is going to happen with the W3 thing. I don't think they're ever going to use a Nemesis system. I think they just have it.
No.
I remember some old like Dragon Ball Z games that had, I wouldn't necessarily call it a mini game, but you could like you could interact with the loading screen a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, okay, WB has this patent now. Any thoughts regarding WB now just being the sole owners of this Nemesis system?
This is so dumb. This is not what patents were made to do in the slightest.
Yeah.
Like the thought process behind getting a patent is that you put a lot of time and money into developing something. And so you should be able to get, for a certain amount of time, be able to get money from having a monopoly on that thing. Or if you're like a person that comes up with a good idea, you can get money from it before everyone steals it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just a system in a video game. All this has done is just means that, like, this system is just going to disappear, and whenever this patent runs out, no one will care about it anymore, and so now there's just a bunch of games that don't exist.
Yeah, pretty much. Spoon?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand very much about patent law and things like that, but this seems a little bit vague to me to be patented.
Right.
It's like it's more of a general idea. I guess it's a system within a video game, but yeah, I don't like that you can patent something like this. It seems really silly. I mean, the Namco thing seems really stupid that you can patent something like that too. That's just okay.
I mean, you can patent a way to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. there's some very interesting stuff out there. That is for sure. It's very interesting, all this stuff. I don't agree. I think it just doesn't make sense to patent this, really. Like, you're not going to use it again. They're not going to make another Shadow of War game. They're not going to make another Lord of the Rings game like that. They ended that story, actually. So they're not going to make another. And it's just going to sit there. And no one's going to want to use the Nemesis system and pay them for it. So it's just going to sit there. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yep.
This is dumb. I do think I remember hearing back around when those games came out that they had applied for a patent for that, and it took this long for them to get it, I guess.
Yep, it took the 5 years, I would guess, is what happened. So the other stuff that I have, Prince of Persia remake delayed indefinitely. I forgot when that was supposed to release, but Ubisoft.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I think Ubisoft is the one that's doing the publishing. Yeah. So Ubisoft, or I don't remember if it was the actual developer, but had come forward and said that they're going to delay this indefinitely. I'm pretty sure they cited COVID and they wanted to make sure that the game was, comes out in the right state, was what they had said. And then the other thing I had, we can kind of jumble these together, is Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 are not going to launch this year. Don't expect it to launch this year, was something that Activision Blizzard had said. I think they said it on that earnings call, actually. That was where it came from. So, any thoughts on those two things? Just for context, Overwatch 2 was announced in 2018? Something like that? We talked about it before. So it's been a while.
2018? Was it 18 or... I want to say it was 19.
Okay, if it's 19, it's been 2 years. It's been a while.
It's
19.
been a year. It's been a year and a couple of months because BlizzCon's usually in November.
Oh.
So it's been...
Yeah.
It's a little over a year. That's a year and 2 or 3 months.
The point is, Overwatch 2 is not going to be fundamentally that much different from Overwatch 1. Why is it taking so long?
We have heard not a peep about Overwatch 2 since that BlizzCon a year and a bit ago.
Right.
At least, well, maybe if you're paying attention. Diablo 4, they've been doing at least these quarterly updates on it. If you check their site, the Diablo 4 site, so on what they're working on.
Okay.
I haven't heard a darn thing about Overwatch 2. I mean, I don't follow Overwatch very much, so maybe I'm just not looking. But
I haven't heard anything at all.
Yeah, that's not surprising. They said, I think Overwatch 2 and Diablo 4 were announced at the same BlizzCon at 19.
That would make sense.
And they said with Diablo 4 that it wasn't anywhere close. It's not even, Blizzard soon or something along those lines. So yeah, people were like, yeah, 2021 at absolute best, but probably not. Yeah. And so yeah, it's not that surprising. The Prince of Persia thing, Yeah, I don't know. It looked... I forget when they announced that, but it looked okay from what I said. I know there were some people that were complaining about the graphics or something about it when the trailer came out. People didn't like it.
We mentioned the graphics. I think I at least did.
Yeah,
I recall the graphics did not look great, but everything else, I mean, everything else seemed fine.
I mean, look, when I hear about game delays or games not coming out this year, that to me is usually a good thing and not a bad thing. Obviously, people want these games, but you know, if the publishers are going to give people more time to work on the game to make sure that it's good, I'm all for that. So, yeah.
Try.
Yeah, it's good that they're delaying the game and not rushing it and not trying to. Well, hopefully not rushing it. We'll see when it comes out. It might still be rushed. I don't know why it's taking so long to make Overwatch 2 when it sounded like it.
It sounds like a campaign. Really,
it's like, yeah, it's like Hectic said. It sounds like they're just trying to add PvE to it, which
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it'll have really good cutscenes and be really long or something.
I have a point on that too, but keep going.
I'll be excited for these games whenever they finally come out. Hopefully they'll be good, but I wasn't exactly like rushing and hoping they came out this year.
Right.
So,
for me, Overwatch 2 is a curious game because if it is just a campaign, I'm confused as to why Activision Blizzard is doing it. I guess if it's just like we want to sell another Overwatch game, if that's really just it. But the thing is, like, it seems like a weird extra cost for them, knowing them. That seems like just like an added cost that, like, are you really going to put that much time into a campaign, Blizzard? It seems weird to me for Overwatch in particular, because it's just like, I don't know how many people are clamoring for that they want that. And I don't think that's really where Overwatch makes much of its money anyway. So,
I mean,
it's weird for me, just knowing how Activision Blizzard works.
When Overwatch came out, there was a lot of people that really wished it had a PvE mode. So there's been a lot of people that wanted it for a while.
Especially
that's since the characters in Overwatch are all done really well. I think they have very good character design. It's just the state of playing the game now is just wading through a toxic wasteland, so no one wants to play it.
Yeah, Hectic's here. He can mention that.
That's why I'd be excited about it. I get to play with Overwatch characters again without getting yelled at. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it feels like it's just should be a DLC. I don't know why they're making it a second game.
That's why I don't get that.
Unless they're like, maybe they're planning on doing like a massive overhaul, like balance overhaul to PvP or something. But I don't think they are. I don't know.
I retired from Hectic, you retired because your snipers weren't particular. Like Ana wasn't very good. And
he retired because Ana wasn't meta.
And he was forced to play Lucio a bunch, which was not as entertaining. That's part of it, I'm sure. The other part of it is probably the community. But I didn't want to play Mercy or Lucio, and that was at the time that was the meta. Who knows? My favorite was the meta where it was just barriers all over the place, and the game just you couldn't even watch it. It looked so dumb.
Yeah, they from what last time I watched an Overwatch stream, the balance they have is still.
It's really bad. Their balance
is something. They have never done a good job balancing that game.
They've had a couple good ones early in Overwatch's existence. I feel like it was fun. Like, it was fun.
It was fun, but I don't know if it was balanced.
Beyblade Season 2?
Beyblade was fun.
Beyblade
was not balanced.
Beyblade?
It was fun.
It was fun.
Not balanced.
So, by the way, that's all I've got here on the dock that I can see for the game news for today.
Cool.
So I think we should shift gears now. I will do this short. This is going to be a short one. Okay. I do want to get to try and you talking about 13 Sentinals in the KH Rando Tournament. So let me quickly transition to this. So I played Amazon Luna today. They bothered me again with an email. And I decided, okay, I should just download it and give it a try. I'm on the browser version right now. I'm not going to obviously boot up a game because that would be ridiculous. But I wanted to mention something about this. So the games list, I'm not a huge fan of their list of games. Some of these games I know people like. I thought the Castlevania collection here was pretty cool, and I do know that there are other games that people have played. I think Crosscode is a pretty
Abandoned and Ghost really like Crosscode.
So like I know that their library does have good games for some people. I just like for me, I'm like looking at like okay, Control looks interesting.
Control's good. Control's
good. Castlevania, Castlevania.
Control's pretty new. I'm surprised it's on there.
They had Resident Evil Biohazard, which I've actually wanted to play, which is pretty sweet. And they have Ys 8 on here, which is pretty cool.
Hey, that's a great game.
They have Trails of Cold Steel 3, but none of the others.
But not 1 and 2. Yeah, don't play 3 before you play 1
and
2.
I was confused on that. I'm trying to think of any others that I thought
I'll actually tell you why on that one. 1 and 2 were published by Xseed, and basically from 3 onwards, as well as the East Games, NISA NIS America has taken over publishing for Falcom games, which are both East and the Trail series. So Xseed, basically NISA was giving the rights for Cold Steel 3, but they don't have the rights to 1 and 2, so they can't.
So I got access to Luna because there was a period where you could sign up and try and get access. I did get access to it, obviously, because I'm showing it. I played Metro Exodus. I've never played this series before. It seems like it's like a post-apocalyptic, I don't know. They're not zombies, but they're like monsters you fight. First-person shooter game. I played the Metro Exodus about 30 minutes. I had 0 problems. The game looked great. And it felt like you didn't have to install anything. I installed Luna on... No input delay. I installed Luna onto my computer. And the installation process was really quick. It doesn't take a ton of space from what I saw initially. And the game played really well. I was very happy. I can't say that's going to be my experience for everything, but there was no input delay at all. I even tested it. I tested multiple different things. There was no delay that I could see. And, I'll try more games for this. I only have a 7-day trial period before I would have to start paying, but I'm just not going to auto renew for now. But the subscription price is $6 a month for just Amazon Luna Plus, which gives you access to this library. I will say my first impression is this is great. Stadia had all the input delay issues.
It's what Stadia should be.
This is great so far. I will play more if I can carve out like an extra 30 minutes to an hour and play either more Metro Exodus or try something else. With no installations, though, I can just boot up any of these. So I'm not like trying to, sell out for Luna here, but my point is, I've mentioned this before, this worked really well. So if this is what cloud gaming is supposed to be, I'm all for it. This was great as a first experience. I was very happy I didn't have to download anything or I just pressed play and the game just started. It was great. I'll try it again and see how it goes. The subscription price being $6 a month is wonderful too. It's a great price. So I'm very curious to see how my next couple play sessions of this go. But I was really impressed. I came away from the 30 minutes going, that was actually really enjoyable. I will do that again for sure. And this is the browser version, so I could play this game on browser. I don't think I will for now, but it's pretty sweet. I don't have a good phone or anything else to play on different devices, but this was pretty cool. So that's my quick segment. This is my quick segment for this. I think it's a cool option if you're not someone who's really I have to play the game locally or I have to have the physical copy. Some of these games I'm more than happy to play on Luna. I just don't care. But I don't know. It was a good experience. So
yeah, the other advantage is maybe I don't really want to buy one of these, some of these games, but
try it.
I'm happy to try it. Pay $7 for 1 month to try it out and play a game that I wanted to play, and then whatever.
Yeah.
So
and this is if it stays at $6, which I doubt it, they'll probably bump it up. This was a great price. I'm not sure if it's an early adopter price or something, but this is a great price. I will say there is a Ubisoft option on this. If you have Ubisoft Plus, you can play Ubisoft games, but I'm not doing that.
So there's a special price to get Ubisoft.
Yeah,
stuff.
But I didn't have to buy any of these, obviously, like you did on Stadia. I really enjoyed. Yeah, this is like Hulu, Netflix. This is the This is the right option. But I think, like I said, I thought it was great. So I will move on from this now. Can we talk quickly about the Rando tournament first before we go to 13 Sentinels? Just because I have the link to the bracket up here.
Okay. Yeah, so we have this big Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix randomizer tournament that is going on right now. There were 4 qualifier seeds that were played over the weekend. Top 16 from each qualifier seed made it into the top 64 bracket, and from there they did 8 groups of 8, basically for top 64. And then once, if you get out of your, so from here, from top 64, it's single elimination.
Right.
But if you get out of your group, out of your bracket, into top 8, it's double elimination from top 8 to the end.
Where was Dodge on here? I know. Oh, there's Dodge.
Dodge is on the last group H.
So here's Dodge.
Yeah, Dodge and I both won our qualifier seeds over the weekend. I was in qualifier A, which was on Saturday at like 11 in the morning, and Dodge was in qualifier D, which was the last one, which was on Sunday at 4, I want to say 4 p.m. Pacific.
Okay.
And yeah, we both did really well in our qualifier seed, and I had, as you can see in the bracket right now, I had my match against Jay Mari there this morning at 11:30 a.m. and I played really well, and I won the match. He was actually, I think, a pretty strong player for being a bottom seed, since I won my qualifier, so I got to play against I'm not sure if he was a last place, but he was in the bottom 4 in his qualifier, so he was basically one of the bottom seeds. And I think he was actually a really good player for being a low seed. As I saw some of the other in the qualifiers, some of the lower seeded players finish, and I was looking at them like they can do it, but they're not very good. They don't really know a lot of the strategies. They don't really know what they're doing. They're casualing out a lot of the fights. They're not good. They're not that good at routing and knowing, what are good checks, what are not good checks, how to use the hints efficiently. And I was figuring my first, since I won my qualifier, I was figuring my first match would be a pretty easy match that I really wouldn't have to play that well in to win. And that was not the case. But luckily I played well, and I won this morning. I won by 22 minutes or so. It was a little bit of it was an interesting seed. We had proofs in the beginning of Core, the Cavern of Remembrance, and Hollow Bastion. We had a proof in Roxas World, Simulated Twilight Town, which is jail, which everyone hates going to. And we had a proof in Port Royal in the second visit. And I avoided STT for quite a long time, but I finally did it and got the proof and won that way. That was my last proof. We had a big hint for Port Royal early on from Beast Castle that apparently Jay Mari didn't push Beast Castle very far, so he didn't have that hint for quite a while, and then he got it and did Port Royal. So Port Royal was his last proof.
I see.
Yeah, apparently he death cycled to Zigbar for about 15 minutes. So that kind of sucks for him, but I did see in watching him sort of prepping for my match that one of his weaknesses, in my opinion, was that he likes to push World That Never Was very early, which can be good if you can do it, but and he doesn't like to level up, like grind and level up very much, which obviously you waste some time doing it, but you get checks for leveling up, and once you get to mid-30s or so, I ended somewhere between 35 and 40. I grinded to around, I think, 33 or 34 on screens. You kind of just steamroll the rest of the game because you're OP. You can, if you get a long seed like this where you have to go through a chunk of worlds and go through into second visits, you want to be able to clear stuff very quickly. And when you're high level, you can do that. And yeah, so I think one of his weaknesses is he just doesn't like to level up. And so yeah, it just takes him longer to do stuff, and he tries to push World That Never Was with low tools and low level, and I would just rather level up and not struggle. So I push my advantage that way and won, playing my game basically, which I was happy about. And as you see, I will be playing either Zantetsuken or Wyatt in my second match. They have until the first round is going to go until the end of next week.
Okay.
They're giving us 2 weeks for the first round because there's so many players, and also there's a level 1 tournament going on this weekend. The qualifier is actually going along right now for that.
So they want to give for that too. They want to give some.
I think they want to give some leeway for that.
Sure.
Yeah, Zan and Wyatt are both good. Wyatt's a very good KH2 player. He doesn't play that much rando though, so I think his routing might be a little rough. And Zan is decent, at least. I haven't seen him too much, but I know he's been around a while, so I would assume he knows what he's doing. Yeah, my group in general, I just think is very solid. I don't think there was a single bad player in this group. All of these players I've seen and are at least decent.
Yeah, sure.
Spike is a decent player. Alios is good. He got 2nd or 3rd in his qualifier and has been in top 8 in a previous tournament. Same, Pseudo was top 8 in a previous tournament as well. Again, Wyatt's just a solid KH2 player. Zan's been around a while. He's pretty good. And J Mari again is a pretty good player, I think, for his seed. And Yami I think is decent too. I think he got like 10th in the same qualifier that I was in, so he wasn't bad either. So yeah, I think this group is really solid overall, but I do think I can get out of it. I think I can beat any of these people. There's no like top 5 or top 10 player in my opinion in this group, so I think this group is very winnable for me. Daj's group, on the other hand, his first 2 matches should be relatively easy against not super great players, especially his first one. I think his first match is against one of the bad bottom seeds, so he should win without probably any trouble that match, unless he gets super unlucky. Second match will probably be slightly more difficult, and then the third match he's likely going to have to play Cole, who is top 5 easily, if not top 3 best rando players. So that it will, I think Daj will get to top 8 without much difficulty, but sorry, top 16, but getting out of this group is going to be difficult for him because he's going to have to play Cole.
Just going to go back to your group real quick. So next match probably week and a half from now.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, it won't be next week. It'll be the week after that.
It'll be week. Okay, it'll be week after. Sure.
Yeah, we schedule with our opponent, one-on-one. We don't get a set match time or something like that. So yeah, I'm happy I'm won. I'm happy I'm in the tournament. I'm happy I'm doing well so far. I'm playing well. I played well in both tournament matches, the qualifier and in my match today. So happy about that. So
perfect.
Yeah, it's fun.
I am happy you didn't get tilted into oblivion. I was
so
scared.
Gosh, that would have been horrible.
Like, cause yesterday I remember you went to the world that never was kind of early.
Yep.
And death cycled on Zigbar, and then today you got the hint for 5 in the world that never was, which is more than normal. And I was so worried you were gonna push it too early. But thankfully you waited
Zigbar...
and played it calm, and then you first tried Zigbar, and then it was good.
I saw that one. That was Pog, dude. You were pumped for that. That was Pog.
Yeah, I was a little worried too when I saw the 5 world that never was, but I was at the point where I was like, we didn't have any proofs yet, and I had gone through most of my early shotgun. I was like, this isn't a go mode seed unless all 3 proofs are in world that never was, or like 2 in Twilight Town and 1 in world that never was, or vice versa, 2 and 1 in those 2. This isn't a go mode seed. This is gonna be. I'm gonna have to, after I clear world that never was, I'm gonna have to go around and find some stuff.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I was fine. I'm like, it's good. I'll just level up. It wasn't the usual way of leveling up. We didn't have fire, so I couldn't do final form fire in Twilight Town, but I had Thundaga really early, and I had Stitch, so I just went to screens and Space Paranoids and Thundaga'd everything to death. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that early Thundaga was hilarious. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Spoon playing Spike Vegeta in a race.
That would be, man, that would be fun.
That's gonna be hype.
That would be fun. I definitely, I saw your bracket, Spoon, and I saw that. I was like, oh, that would be cool if that happened. That would be very cool if that happened. I would be very interested to see if that does happen.
Of course, Spoon versus Wyatt and Zan is also going
to be no. It's just like, I mean, we know Spike, so we know
everybody knows Spike Vegeta. I met Spike Vegeta once.
Yeah, I've met Spike Vegeta too at a GDQ.
He seems like such a nice person.
Yeah,
that's all that I
he is.
I was gonna.
Yeah,
oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Spike will have a tough second match against either Alios or Pseudo, so I may not end up playing him. But I think he could win. I think he could win against either. He's a good player for sure. He plays KH2 a lot. He does play a lot of other stuff though as well.
Sure.
He plays a lot of randomizer.
Yeah, he plays a lot of randomizer, both Ocarina of Time, KH2. I think he does Majora's Mask sometimes too. Yeah, he plays a lot of randomizers. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I just want to thank everybody, by the way, who showed up and watched. I'm sure a lot of them are not watching the podcast, but you guys, Ghost, Dodge, Mason, Abandon, and then the multitude of other rando runners, who many of them are probably doing the the level 1 seed right now. For showing up. I had like around 20 viewers most of the time when I looked at my viewer count, which is far above normal for me. I usually hover around 5 or so, so it was nice to see. Obviously I wasn't talking to chat because it was an official tournament match, but I was happy to see people there cheering me on, hopefully, and talking about the seed. I looked at the chat a little bit, and people were like, please go to STT, please go to STT, please go to STT.
Dodge was going to crucify you if you lost that seed because you didn't go to STT.
Yeah.
So
I eventually, after I did other stuff there were a couple of choices that I made that I shouldn't have. I should have done SCT a little bit earlier before I did some other things. But there also were a couple of things that I did before STT that I don't think were bad plays, that I think is decent to do before STT. So, yeah. But had I done STT right after I got the hint, I probably could have finished the seed 20 or 30 minutes earlier. So, yeah.
Yeah. Do we want to quickly segue over to 13 Sentinels try thoughts? So Try, before you say much about your experience so far, you and Kuru were playing separately, same game, or were you playing like literally you're next to each other while playing?
We are literally sitting next to each other on the couch playing.
Okay, got
it. And for the most part, normally he's doing one character story, and then I'm doing the battles until I get locked out, and then he has to do more of the story. It's like the opposite of Spoon. I remember when Spoon was talking about it, he was like, yeah, I'd have to, sprinkle in and do some battles here and there to make sure I didn't get locked out. And then I'm sitting there like I cleared the first area, and the game was like, all right, you can't do any more battles until you get to 30% of the story, and we were at like 12.
Oh boy.
And I was so sad. It took so long. Kuru tries opinions do not represent mine. The game is really good. I'm glad Spoon recommended it to us. The story is fantastic. It's probably one of the better stories of visual novel I've played. It definitely rivals, I think, all the Danganronpa and Nonary games and all that.
AI.
Yeah. I think it's probably... I haven't seen the end of it yet, but so far I'm about 60% in. So far it's looking like it's going to be better than those games. It is a little overwhelming at the start just because there's so many characters. 13. But once you kind of get going and you kind of get used to the characters, it's not as bad. They did do a good job, even though a lot of them just look like generic
high school students.
Generic high school students. They gave some tells to them, and they gave them some like key parts of their personality so you can remember them.
And each of the stories, they're all dealing with a very different sort of conflict, I suppose. Like it sort of depends.
Yeah. It is. It is kind of. The way we did it, we have beelines towards certain stories and tried to rush through them as soon as possible, which is making it nice. Because if we went around and like did a little bit of one story and a little bit of another story, we'd be so lost.
Yeah.
Like we haven't done there's like 2 characters of the 13 that like when you do the other people's stories, they seem so pivotal to what's going on, and we've just literally completely ignored them. We haven't done the prologue. I haven't done the prologue for Goda or Ryoko, because we were busy just doing other people's stories, and all of the stories are really good. There's some worry when you have a game this long with this many characters that there's going to be a lot of dull parts, but from my experiences so far, all the characters' stories have all felt like exciting and engaging, and they're still able to get a lot of good twists in like each character's little lines, even though the game is so long, which I think is just incredible writing. And the characters are all fun. Fluffy is the best character in the game, bar none. It is the most sarcastic asshole cat you will ever meet.
Fluffy's funny. I like BJ though.
BJ's good too. BJ was the first one. The first story we did was Natsuno's. Just so we could play BJ.
I like Natsuno. She's cute. She's cute. I love Natsuno.
She's so stupid.
Yeah, she's stupid, but she's cute.
Some of the characters are just so stupid. The game it's a visual novel called 13 Sentinels. It's technically not a visual novel, but it's basically a visual novel. And it's a real good story game. The combat.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna ask you, but because I was curious. Was there anything so far that you didn't like? I guess you and Kuru split it up. So like you were doing all the combats. You were going to talk about the combats, I assume. What were you going to say about the combats?
I'll say first, the only one I didn't like, there is one character story that, this isn't even a spoiler, so I can say this. I think it's like Fuyusaka, where after you get out of her prologue, you end up on like a street and she's talking to her friends, and the dialogue just keeps looping and looping, and you had to figure out how to get out of it. And Kuru almost lost his goddamn mind. We were there for like 20 minutes, and he couldn't figure out what the fuck to do. And it was something stupid. You had to like talk to the characters at certain points while they were rotating their dialogue to get like to make them go eat an ice cream cone or a crepe, and then depending on what they ate, you would get a specific dialogue from one of the characters on an item that you could give to a cat or something. Like the only like really, really bad part of the game was how stupid that part was.
Yeah, the dialogue trees are treated in some cases a little bit like a puzzle. They want you to figure out like, you know, what you have to say or who you have to talk to advance the story on a different branch of the flowchart, basically. But sometimes it can be a little difficult to figure out what you're supposed to do. Most of the time, if you just try all your options and talk to everybody, you'll find the right way eventually. But there's a couple here and there, that one being one of them, that's like, man, what the hell do I do here? And you keep ending up going down the same branch, and like, okay, that was wrong. Okay, let's go back and do it again. So
we were really worried that was going to be her entire story, but I think we finished it and it stopped doing that. And then like Kuru said, the flowcharts are really weird because from like 999 and other games, if you have a flowchart where there's like one event and then it branches into two other events, this one event is always the same no matter what, right? Because you make a decision here and then it branches. But for some reason in this game, a lot of the stories, you'll finish a branch and you'll go back to like the starting one event where the story splits, and it'll just change and be completely different. Which I don't know if that's going to get explained at some point, but it's really weird to loop back to the same like part of a flowchart and have it be noticeably different. Like I know Natsuno's like a lot of her story starts out with her going to the track room, and depending on where you are in her story, it'll always go to the same like track room dot on the flowchart, but there'll be a completely different character in there with her for her to talk to when she gets there. And it, like I said, I hope it gets explained at some point. If it doesn't, it's not a big detriment to the game, but it's a really weird way to orient the flowcharts to have them connect to different things.
Yeah, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil. I want to see you discover it for yourself. I don't want to see whether they explain it or not. You know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like it was maybe it's supposed to play into the time travel aspect a little bit with like, oh, okay, this character now knows more information, so when you restart the branch, you have more information and you can go from there. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm not sure I'm feeling that it should be the same, you know.
I mean, it's kind of nice, like, playing through it for there to be little differences, so it's not as boring doing the same thing over and over again.
Sure.
Like, if you ever play VLR, which is Virtue's Last Reward, is the second game in the Nonary Games trilogy, there's just, like, a famous line of a rabbit just yelling, Siggy! Fido! And it's famous because you have to hear it, like, 25 times when you're doing the story.
Oh.
At the same place of the story. So it's nice that this game doesn't have that problem and that it changes things up. It's just weird the way that they made the flowcharts display that.
Mm-hmm.
But these are all minor things. The game is still absolutely fantastic. Still highly recommend.
The reason I recommended it to you, because I know you guys were big fans of the Nonary games and AI the Somnium Files, and I was like, yeah, this game is very similar to those. This will be up your alley for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So. And then the combat, I think Spoon was just kind of like meh on the combat.
I'm meh. Like, I didn't dislike it, but I didn't think there was anything special about it. It was fine.
I don't know why, but I just really love and enjoy the combat in this game. It's like, it's not hard. I'm playing it on the hardest difficulty. It's not hard, like, at all. It's just kind of like big mechs do big bombs and a bunch of numbers pop up and things die. And it's just hilarious and so fun. It's so terribly imbalanced. It's a PlayStation 4 game. I think only. Is it on any other consoles?
It's PS4.
PS4 only. PS4.
The second generation Sentinels get sentry guns, and sentry guns are absolutely the most busted thing I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
If you bring all the second generation Sentinels and just spam sentry guns, like, by the end of the level you can just sit there and just watch them, like, obliterate everything and they'll never get touched. It's hilarious.
I hated the Gen 4 suits suck.
Really? Dude, the shields are so good.
The shields are good.
The interceptors aren't that bad either. They're not as good as sentries, but they're super funny because they look like a bunch of flies just buzzing around and, like, peppering enemies.
Yeah. You need the Gen 1s later. Some of, like, the bigger, like, armored enemies and, like, these big enemies later. Gen 1s are the only ones that can deal with it because they just have these certain attacks that just do big dick damage. And, like...
Yeah.
Like the armor... Yeah.
His is stupid. It's like the best attack on Gen 1s that I've seen so far is, like, I think Demolisher Blade.
That's the one. That's the OP attack. You just spam that shit. That's all you need.
They gave one of the characters, like, a double damage Demolisher Blade.
Oh, yeah. Like, it costs more energy, but it doesn't
It costs more energy, but it doesn't matter because when he kills them, he gets it all back.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. So, yeah, the game is terribly balanced. It's not that hard. But if you like big numbers and watching things die, which, as you might imagine, as with how many hours I played in Hyrule Warriors, I love just watching tons of things die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The combat's actually pretty fun. So yeah, overall, it is a fantastic game. I cannot wait for the end of it, and everyone should go play it right now. Everyone. Turn off the podcast.
Okay.
If you don't have a PS4, go buy one.
Okay.
Download the game and start, and then I'll see you in 50 hours.
My goodness. Korea is gonna just, like, walk in now with the system. Let's go. Let's get started. Let's go. Get out of here.
Just watching. Has he got on the couch yet? No.
For how much is it right now?
It's 60, but I got it on sale either Black Friday or over the winter for 40, and it was on sale a month ago or so for, I want to say, half off for 30. So wait around for the next PlayStation sale, and it'll probably go on sale again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's 60. It's 60 full price, but it's been going on sale for 40 or 30, relatively often. So just yeah, I don't know. Put it on your. I don't know if wish list is a thing on PlayStation, but yeah, keep an eye out if you're interested.
So with this game though, so with 13 characters, do you feel there's an even distribution of character time?
Yes.
It's even. Okay, you think it's fairly even?
It's pretty even. Like the characters' stories are all pretty even. So like the characters' existence within the stories isn't even because the way it's set up, you'll go through like this arc that they picked for this character, but that character will still show up in other characters' arcs, even if that's not part of their story.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some characters that so far seem like they're showing up more often than others. But each one still has like their own little arc, and each of the arcs seem roughly to be the same amount of time.
Sure.
So there's definitely good playtime in
so
all of them.
There's good balance. There's good balance with all the characters. Yeah.
Who's your favorite character so far, Troy?
I thought it was the cat. I thought you said it was
you
the
have
cat.
one favorite playable
favorite
character.
playable character.
Playable character. Cat is not playable.
It's probably Natsuno.
Natsuno.
It's probably Natsuno.
I
Either
think, like-
Natsuno or Sekigahara.
Have you gotten to the twist in Juro's story with Kyuta?
Yeah, we finished Juro's story.
Juro's story. That was probably one of my favorite twists in the game. I was like, it was one of those things for me where I'm like, it's sitting there the whole time staring you right in the face, but until they tell you, you don't get it.
This is terrible because we can't say what it is for spoilers, but we actually figured it out before they twisted it because we did
somebody else's story.
What's his name? The blonde-haired guy. Starts with an S. Samuchi?
No, that's not it. Blonde-haired guy.
Kuru, help me. I don't know. His like best friend, Amaguchi.
Shu Amaguchi, yeah.
Yeah, Shu Amaguchi. We did his best friend story, and there's one part of their stories where they like intersect, where they're both in the apartment.
Where they're in Shu's house. Yeah, they're.
If you do Shu's lines first, things become very, very weird and very, very obvious in Juro's story.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That was one of those twists where it was like it's staring you right in the face the whole time, especially if you've played other people's stories. And if you're smart like Kuru and try, you realize it. But if you're dumb like me, you don't realize it, and they tell you, they're just like, "Oh my god, no shit, of course." So that one threw me for a loop. I loved that.
Yeah, this game has a lot of really good twists for how many characters and how long it is. I don't know how they managed to put this many interesting twists in a video game. It's actually impressive.
I think I talked about it before when we talked about this game a couple months ago when I was playing it. I think the game is super well paced, too. There's enough like downtime and other moments where you're not getting huge plot dumps and stuff that you can kind of enjoy and process stuff. But then the twists are well paced, and yeah, I think the pacing is great, and the fact that they have that codex that you can go back and look at if you didn't quite understand what went on or something like that. I love that too. So
I have to point Kuru to that all the time when he gets lost.
Yeah,
he's so bad at remembering things, dude. God, he's so bad.
He remembers the Domino's deals though. He's got a good memory.
No,
for
he
certain
didn't.
things.
He didn't. He actually forgot it. Literally, you said that when he tried to order Domino's for the first time here, he couldn't find where to click on the $5.99 deal that we always use.
No.
And he forgot the coupon code for it.
Oh, Kuru. I feel is I just feel disappointment for Kuru. I'm just disappointed. So with I'm trying to think of other things. So like with 13 Sentinels, you're about 60% of the way through. How many hours are you try? You mentioned it before,
30.
but just okay. So you're 30 hours in, with roughly 60%. I assume there is like an actual percentage that shows up somewhere that says that.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's 66%.
And each segment of the game shows you how much of that segment you've completed.
Okay.
Story mode, battle mode, and then the codex mode as well tells you how much you've
done.
Okay.
So there's they do give that indication. and you're about 30 hours in. And Spoon, you had said it was like 38 to 40 hours for you.
Yeah, it took me around. It was around 40. It was like 38 or 39. I think
okay.
It was like just under 40.
Got it. So the game isn't that long.
It's not absurdly long.
It's not that long.
It's not P5, but
no, it's not P5 or Trails of Cold Steel or any of the super long JRPGs.
It's long for what it is. Most games like this don't go that long.
Yeah, I guess AI was what, 25 or something like that.
Yeah, 25, and I think. Yeah? Well, VLR takes forever, but that's because you have to keep replaying it.
Oh boy. For a VN, that's long. Okay, well, if it's for a VN, that's long. But like generally speaking, for a game like 40 hours,
yeah,
it's really not that bad. I mean, that's definitely not something that like. I feel like that kind of game would be fresh enough where you wouldn't really get like too much of. Okay, you're getting the same kind of stuff over and over again, like some other games that I've played recently have been like. So far, if you were to give it like a rating try, out of 10, 0 being 10. Just 10. You just said 10. Okay,
just 10.
Just 10. Okay, so just 10. Got it.
So far, it's a 10.
Okay, so that's like literally everybody should play it kind of review. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. If
the ending sucks, it'll go down. But as long as the ending doesn't suck, it'll stay at 10.
Sure.
The ending does not suck. In my opinion. But maybe I'll feel differently.
Boy. Well, you also thought the ending to Erase didn't suck, which I still don't understand that.
I mean,
that's an anime to anyone that doesn't know.
Yeah, that's an anime.
It's a good anime, but the ending is terrible.
Oh, fair enough. I mean,
Otto's doing anime and like. Turn around, Otto. What is that behind you?
This is my wall, right here. That's my wall. There's also this parrot, and these are my. This is my card display, which I'm currently.
What cards did you put in your card display, Otto?
I'm not telling you.
You're not.
I don't want to. Wow, it's because it's not done yet. There's still space up here that's not filled. All the trainer cards, all my full art trainer cards. Okay.
Okay.
There's a bunch of trainer full art cards that I put in there. Okay, that's the spoiler there.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, I'm not sure I'd give it a 10, but it's a hard 9 for me, easy, if not a 9.5. It's not for everybody. I mean, if you don't like this kind of like story-driven game with all these plot twists and like if you don't like the visual novel style, game is not going to change your mind. It's not a. I wouldn't say this game is for everybody, even though it's really good. But if you like this kind of game, or if you can stomach this kind of game, let's say, it's amazing.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like approaching, if not best in genre.
Okay. Well, it did get nominated for an award at the Game Awards, so
yeah.
Best
narrative, narrative,
which
it
Last of Us 2 got.
Should have won.
Last of Us 2 got that, but. We're not gonna go down that road. So I hate to start circling and closing this out because we're pushing my class time. There's, I guess, one other thing that. Is there anything else you wanted to mention actually quickly, rounding out 13 Sentinels? That's just like a burning.
We can talk about it generally, but we don't want to spoil.
Okay, you don't want to spoil anything. That makes sense.
We don't want to talk about spoilers.
Sure.
So
sure.
Yeah.
So the last thing. Deeper. Let me check the doc. I want to make sure that. Okay, I'm sorry, Try. Can we skip Destiny 2 new season?
I mean, I played 30 minutes of it.
You played 30 minutes of it? Okay. You weren't going to say much. Okay. Well, Destiny 2 new season is a thing. And I don't even...
good.
Okay, it looks good. Okay, good. Because I know nothing about it. Literally zero. Literally zero about it. Feels bad, man, from Vis. Vis, why don't you come on at some point and you can tell us about it? So... The last thing I wanted to mention, this is mostly for like Spoon, the new Genshin event. Guess what? In order to get the store currency, guess what you have to do?
Tower defense.
Tower defense! Woohoo! We get to play tower defense. Don't worry, try to wake up in a second because that was my only point for Genshin. So we have to play tower defense. How interesting.
Yeah, this patch is a big nothing burger in Genshin.
It's pretty rough.
They added one character, and I think his story is out now for this this tower defense game. His story quest.
It's okay. It's just okay. I have nothing to say about it. It's just okay.
I don't know this.
It's okay.
Dragonspine was a great patch, and this patch is very disappointing for me. There's hardly anything in it.
Yeah, tower defense, though. We have to play tower defense. It's a co-op mode, so we could do it together, I suppose.
Yeah,
but
we could.
We have to play tower defense. So that's all I wanted to say. It's crazy. I crapped on tower defense so much, and Bloons is fine. I mean, Bloons it's an enjoyable game, but we have tower defense in Genshin now. We've come around to it. So, yep, that's pretty much it. We skipped Destiny 2. So, let's do the conclusion here. Let's close out with a couple notes. So, let me go back to my cam and gameplay just to remind everybody of a couple things quickly. So, videos, there's going to be some videos going up tomorrow and Friday. Please be sure to like and comment on those if you have the time. We appreciate it. Tomorrow is the Rainbow Six stream. We're going to be going through on Vis's perspective. So, no comment. Just, we're getting Vis's perspective. That'll be at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, unless something happens. That's what's going to be for tomorrow on the podcast channel. Also, since Kuru is actually here in chat now, we're going to be setting up that Minecraft server. I just need some help figuring out how to do it. If Kuru can help walk me through it. If you're interested in joining that Minecraft server and want to contribute, because it will be our server and there's going to be a cost to that, we set up this coffee page. You don't have to contribute, obviously, but if you join the server or if you just want to help pay for that cost, because I'll be fronting it on my own, we'd really appreciate that. That'd be very nice.
I have something I want to mention real quick.
Go ahead, please.
Right back to 13 Sentinels, because I just looked at Twitter. Apparently, it's on sale for $30 right now on the PlayStation Store.
Okay.
So if you're thinking about getting it, it's half off, $30.
Go buy it.
If you're interested, please go buy it. It's amazing.
$30 right now. Is there an end time for that sale, or is it just
I do not know.
Okay, well, it's on sale right now. It's on sale right now, so
offer ends 2/24, 2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks. It's a good window for everybody.
It's on sale for 2 weeks.
No. Thank you for pointing that out, Spoon. Thank you. Oh yeah, Minecraft server. So yeah, if you want to contribute that and you're interested in joining the server, we'll put some info on that in Discord. Movie night next week will be Return of the King, unless we're not able to set it up appropriately, because I won't really be at that movie night. It'll be something else. We'll let everybody know who's interested in that. And I'm trying to think. Is there anything else, Spoon, that I should be pointing out right now? Am I missing anything?
Yeah, I don't think so. Just look out for streams. I'm sure Rainbow Six boys will be on again tomorrow. What time do they start? 5
p.m. 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern typically is when they start. We're getting Vis's perspective. So again, last time we had whose perspective did we have last time?
Oh,
Hectic? I think we had Hectic's perspective last time. So this time is Vis, and again, I have no comment.
I'm getting the shit posting ready, dude. Let's go.
I will comment. I'm biased when I say this, but this is a very funny group. If you want some laughs, this is the group. This is the group, man. They're fun. Yeah. I think, again, I'm biased. They're good. They're good. They're not bad players. It's not like you're watching me play Rainbow Six. So, you guys, I will say as a side note, they're too tough on Adam. Give Adam some positive vibes when you get in there.
Yeah.
Be sure to
Adam's
give Adam
the best
some
player on the
vibes.
team. This is the worst. If you keep that in mind, everything makes sense.
Right. Adam is Adam gets too much flack. He's a good kid. Just give him some positive vibes when you get into that stream. He deserves it. He's a good person. I don't understand why everyone's so tough on him. Anyway, Spoon, any last thoughts before we close out? And try if you want to say anything before we close out.
I may stream East tomorrow afternoon before the Rainbow Six. I'll make sure I'm offline far before Rainbow Six starts.
Sure.
I don't want to cross the streams on that one, and maybe we'll do Friday as well. I saw Otto had his stream schedule for some more streams this week.
Mm-hmm. Those are mostly personal Genshin streams.
Yeah.
However,
I know that.
Yeah, those could cross over for sure and do a Xenoblade stream. I will mention that.
Yeah.
That could
I was
swap.
gonna say let's get some Xenoblade time in there.
Oh, okay.
If we're feeling, I mean, I don't want you to play if you're not feeling it, but.
No. I'm like I said, we may get some crossover. We'll see.
Okay.
Try.
All right, so I'm a guest, so I gotta promote something, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Go for it.
If it's appropriate.
A friend of mine is a VTuber who is trying to stream more to help with her social anxiety and help with talking people. She's really cool. Her Twitter is hilarious. Give her follows. And yeah,
okay.
That's my promotion.
I'm already here. I'm already checking it out. It's already done.
All right, I followed.
I've already followed. Does this Oh, it looks like she streams pretty often too. Okay.
She does. She doesn't stream for very long though, but
like an hour or so. Okay.
Yeah, she does like hour streams.
Okay.
Her VTuber model, she did it herself and it actually looks pretty good.
I've just followed that as well. There you go. If anybody's interested, thank you, Try, for promoting that. And yeah, we followed. I'll see if I can for sure stop by and say hello. And I'll say I'll say Tricourage told me to come over here for some good times.
Oh boy.
I'll put it all on you.
Also, yeah, before we finish, everyone go cheer on Daj, who is running the level 1 seed right now, the qualifier that is.
Oh yeah, dude.
That is going on right now. Or they're about an hour and a half into the seed right now. Daj has got he's got 1 proof. I haven't seen anybody else yet, so I don't know what we're looking at. But but yeah, he did my Beast Castle push up to Beast, and he found a proof there. So that's working out for people today.
His computer is still chugging.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Feels bad. Okay, guys. Well, that's gonna do it. Thanks everybody who stopped by and said hello during the podcast, and for anybody who's watching on YouTube and such, be sure to like and subscribe. And for anybody who happens to be listening on Anchor, maybe there's 1 or 2 people. Yeah, just keep following all these podcasts. So. Hey, I see in the data there's like I think 1 person, so that person's gonna get a shout out. That person's gonna get a shout out. So anyway, we'll see you guys. Thanks for coming by. Have a good night.
Night.